Good evening to one and all present in this session. My name is Alexander Mathai Paikade, advocate and arbitrator joining from New Delhi. As a proud member of CG3, Connecting Governed, Governing and Governance is proud to present the 14th Legal Awareness and Motivation Program, LAMP session on the theme Delinquent, Juveniles and Law, Prevention, Violation and Corrections. Before we start this event, for invoking the grace of God and enlightening us all, I would like to call upon Miss Jis Mary Jim for the prayer song.
Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together. Lord, bind us together with love. There is only one God. There is only one King. There is only one body. That is why we sing. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together. Bind us together with love. Made for the glory of God. Born with the right to be clean. For Jesus the victory has won. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together. Bind us together with love. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together. Bind us together with love. Bind us together with love.
Thank you, Jismeria, for the prayer song. Now, I cordially invite Dr. K.P. Kailasanathapillai, sir, to chair this function.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Ms. Shirley Paul, teacher and coordinator, HS section, Louds Academy, Thrissur, for the welcome address. Ma'am, please.
Okay, thank you. A warm good evening to one and all gathered from different parts of the country, we can say, not in one place, different parts of the country we gather to attend a legal awareness and motivation program. Really, I'm very happy and feel privileged to give an opportunity, to get an opportunity to welcome in this occasion everyone. Okay, our school has always believed that the children are the future. That will help in making our country great. And to encourage that idea, we conduct many programs every year. This year also, especially in this pandemic condition, it is really a blessing for our kids to get more information about laws and how much importance in our life. And the main motto of this mission, LAP, learn law to reach peaks of excellence in life. And I am very happy we are having a wonderful team with us to impact in our kids. First of all, let me welcome today's chief guest, Honorable Justice A. Hari Prasad, Permanent Judge of High Court, Kerala. Welcome, sir. In your busy schedule, you are there to give the address to our kids. Welcome, sir. Now let me welcome Dr. Kailasanathapillai, Senior Advocate of Supreme Court. He is, I think, one of the main pillars of this mission lab. Welcome, sir. Then now let me welcome Advocate Rega Vasudevan as a motivational speaker of today's program. Welcome, ma'am, to Lord's family. For interaction section, we are having a vibrant and young advocate, Mr. Mahesh Menon. Welcome, sir. The main coordinator of today's program, I think that is Advocate Asha Joseph, the mediator between us and the wonderful team. Welcome, ma'am. We should not forget our left shepherd, that is our dear principal, Father Jose Kidangan. Because of his urgent meeting, he couldn't attend the meeting, but he promised he will try to attend. Anyhow, in his absence also, I am welcoming him because he's always there to support our kids, to guide them in the proper channel. And dear parents, we treasure your love and concern towards Lord's Academy is uncountable. You are always with us, and welcome. And my dear colleagues, we are always working as a team to guide, motivate, and support our kids. Yeah. And today's stars, we can say, otherwise gems of today's program is my beloved children only. They are here waiting to attend this program. And really, we should appreciate them because the pain they are taking to attend the live classes in this pandemic condition. Because they are so much, sometimes they open their mind and inform to the teachers they are so depressed and so stressed because in this age, adolescence age, the problems they are facing. And they are sharing some things, we are also feel sympathy to them. Anyhow, I informed the children already because no need to worry. We are getting a wonderful team to guide you today, and you will be relaxed and you will be more optimistic, more confident. Anyhow, we are so blessed to get such a wonderful team. Dear children, one thing only I want to say, because just to make use of it, this mission, that is program. And once again, welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for your warm welcome. Now, I invite Advocate Dr. K.P. Kailasnatha Pillai, sir, designated Senior, Supreme Court of India and mentor of CG3 for the chairman address. Sir, please.
Thank you, Mr. Anandu. Good evening to all. It is really a wonderful and happy occasion for CG3 to reach the precincts of a premier institution imparting quality education to the children, Lord's Academy, Varandarapalli, Thrissur. CG3 members express their immense gratitude to the principal, father principal, and all the organizers, especially Shirley Paul Mom, for providing us such an opportunity to interact with the students of this illustrious institution. CG3, Connecting Governed, Governing and Governance, is an organization of well-meaning people with the intention to create an intellectual hub, an organization to provide legal aid, social service, legal education. And we have already conducted several functions, several programs. There is another program for intended to impart legal awareness or legal support to the elected members of the local representatives, local institutions like Panchayat and municipalities. LAMP, this session is meant for school students to create awareness, to sensitize them in the requirement of understanding law, learning law, obliging and obeying law, to tell the children that you have rights, you have interests, you have privileges which are well protected by your parents, society, and your teachers, your school. But you have duties and obligations also, which it is for you to understand and perform to your fellow students, to your teachers, to the schools, to the family, to the society at large. So this is the intention of CG3 in conducting this course called LAMP. We also aim at generating interest in students, school children, to study law also, because best talents should come to the legal profession. And those who among you are interested in pursuing law, we can ensure you that legal profession is one of the best professions available in the world today for youngsters. With this, I will not be standing between you and the illustrious speakers, chief guests who are present here. We have Mr. Justice A. Hariprasad, former judge of the High Court of Kerala and former administrator of the High Court of Kerala called the Registrar of High Court of Kerala, a very learned judge, a very scholarly person, not only adept in legal subjects, but in all branches of knowledge. Justice Hari Prasad has made his impact through his judgments, through his action, through his functioning. It will be a very remarkable occasion for us to listen to Justice Hari Prasad. I hope that Father Principal, Father Jose Kidangan also will be joining in due course. We have Advocate Rekha Vasudevan to make a motivating speech to the students with a sufficient focus on the topic delinquent juveniles and law, prevention, violation, and correction. As Wordsworth said, child is the father of the man. If you teach children in young good things, they will become good Samaritans. If you don't teach them good things, they will go berserk in the society. So I think Advocate Rekha Vasudevan will be able to show you a motivated, with orientation skills. And we have our mom Shirley Paul already shared her mind with us. And we have Jis Maria Jimmy praying for all of us to the Lord Almighty. Bind us together with love. Bind us together with love. So that is the one force which will ever be present among human action and reaction. Love. Presence of love and absence of love makes the difference in the happiness and otherwise of our life. And I appreciate the way in which, the melodious, mellifluous way in which Maria has sung the song. And we have Mahesh Menon to coordinate the interactive session. And we have Asha Joseph, who is the team leader organizing this CG3 event, to propose vote of thanks to all of us. And we have a good team, and we have a good audience, and we have a good team of chief guests assembled here. I am not extending my words. On behalf of CG3, I once again welcome all of you, and I welcome Madam Shirley Paul, who proposed welcome to all of us with immense gratitude to this function. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating words and spreading the mission of CG3 to us all present. Now we shall give heed to the CG3 anthem.
നീതിയും നിയമവും ജനപക്ഷത്തൊരുക്കുവാൻ CG3. നീതിയും നിയമവും ജനപക്ഷത്തൊരുക്കുവാൻ CG3. നിശബ്ദ ഖണ്ഡങ്ങളിൽ ശബ്ദമായി നീതിന്യായത്തിൻ ബോധമുണർത്താൻ CG3. CG3. ആശയപ്രകാശനത്തിൽ പരിഹരിച്ചിടാം 100,000 ആളിൽ നീറും ദുരിതങ്ങൾ. നൂതന ആശയപ്രകാശനത്തിൽ പരിഹരിച്ചിടാം 100,000 ആളിൽ നീറും ദുരിതങ്ങൾ. മനുഷ്യത്വ അവബോധവും കരുത്താകുമീ CG3. നീതിയും നിയമവും ജനപക്ഷത്തൊരുക്കുവാൻ CG3. നിശബ്ദ കണ്ഠങ്ങളിൽ ശബ്ദമായി നീതിന്യായത്തിൻ ബോധമുണർത്താൻ CG3. CG3.
Thank you, technical team. Now, I'm extremely fortunate to have this opportunity to invite the noble dignitary and epitome of wisdom and reason, one of the eminent judge, Honorable Mr. Justice A. Hariprasad, sir, who also seldom delivered judgments from heart rather than from mind. Sir obtained his BSc degree from Government Victoria College, Palakkad in 1979 and law degree from Government Law College, Kozhikode in 1982, enrolled as an advocate in 1983 and was a member of Bar Association, Tirur, practiced nearly 13 years in various courts in Malappuram district, recruited as district and sessions judge to the Kerala Higher Judicial Service and appointed as additional district and sessions judge, Palakkad in 1995, served as additional district judge at Talasheri, Ernakulam and also Kozhikode. Also appointed as director, Kerala Judicial Academy, High Court of Kerala, and so on, in as an additional judge on the High Court on 2030 and was appointed as a permanent judge on June 30, 2014. I most respectfully invite your lordship to light the lamp to brighten the young minds.
Thank you, Mr. Nandu. Very good evening to all. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible and listening.
Okay. Heart and soul of this program, Dr. Kailasnatha Pillai, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, though he himself designated as mentor CG3 is something beyond that probably, because this conception itself is a great thing. He's not only mentoring, he has conceived it. So that has to be appreciated in this context. Then comes Rekha Vasudevan and Mahesh Menon, who are supposed to deliver the address today for this sublime program. Mrs. Shirley Paul, teacher in Lord's Academy, Varantarapalli, Thrissur, and all the teachers, dear students, all who are connected to this program. It's my very heartfelt good evening to all of you. At the outset, I may thank Dr. Kailasnatha Pillai for giving me an opportunity to participate in such a sublime program, because I have received a brochure. Carefully, I've gone through the brochure, which shows the commitment of this CG3 program, CG3, this mission, rather. I would call it a mission because it is with utmost good intention. Such things are happening very rarely in society. Now, as I shall take lead from Dr. Kailasnatha Pillai's address and start from that thread. Dutiful and responsible citizens, especially youngsters, are assets of any nation. They are the national assets. So to make national assets or to make the nation wealthier, this attempt is extremely laudable one. Then this idea connecting the government and governance, I put it in a different way, connecting the governed with the government and governance is it is a need of the hour, if I may say so, because the people who ultimately govern us may not be fully aware as to what is the way in which the government should be run, or the people who are being governed are not fully aware as to what are their rights and duties. As Dr. Kailasnatha Pillai pointed out, we are aware, people are aware of our rights generally, but we are forgetful of the duties. Even if you take the Constitution, you will find part 3 where the fundamental rights are discussed. And the other part where dealing with fundamental duties are also there. That is conveniently not remembered. That is one of the aspects probably which I wanted to highlight, because it is this mission of the CG3 to instill in the young minds the importance of rights and obligations, or powers and duties. So I'm sure that this is one of the greatest mission that is undertaken by this CG3 here. Now, I may just add one more aspect to this. No citizen in any civilized country can live in ignorance of law or in defiance of law, because rule of law is the mother of civilization. Now, if you take any civilization for that matter, starting from our Arsha Bharata principles, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshada, you go to Roman civilization, Egypt, or any place in the world where there was an ancient civilization, you will find a goddess for justice. Why? Because this justice is the life and blood of human civilization. It is human civility is directly linked to the rule of law. So the importance of rule of law, rightly understood by CG3 group. Now, this is a what you call very laudable mission undertaken by CG3 to percolate the ideas of this rule of law to the young minds at the very young age. Legal awareness and motivation, as pointed out by Dr. Pillai, is actually it's an obligation for people dealing with law. Let it be the judges, let it be the lawyers, or anybody having an interest in the legal profession has an obligation to impart legal awareness and motivate youngsters, not only for the enrichment of the profession or driving them to this profession, but also motivating them to live in this world as responsible citizens. And if you understand law in very simple terms, I can say that law is the quintessence of collective common sense of the society. It is the quintessence because, see, you may find laws which may be appreciable to you, which may be not very happily taken by people, but law is law. It is the collective quintessence of common sense. Sorry, quintessence of collective common sense. Then, as pointed out earlier, the law in a civilized society is considered to be mightier than the mightiest. You may be very high person, but still the law is above you. That is the saying. So the importance of law in a civilized society, there are 1,000 reasons for asserting this proposition that law is very important for a orderly society. And think of a situation where lawlessness prevails. No, it even jeopardizes the human, not only individual life, but the life of the society at large. Now, what is the distinction between, see, that biologically speaking, there can be what you call similarities and dissimilarities between human beings and other animals. But what makes human beings distinct from animals is the refinement, civility, culture, compassion, dutifulness, empathy, righteousness, rectitude, and so many values. So such values actually spring out of this our culture, and for maintaining that values, or rather for achieving the full benefit of those values, legal awareness is very, very important. Then, as pointed out by Dr. Pillai, this respect to law, this obedience to law must be taught at the very young age, because after some time, if you have instilled in the young minds the importance of law, probably that seed will grow. And as the person grows up in life, he may land in any profession. He may not be in legal profession alone. He can be a good doctor, he can be an engineer, he can be a scientist, he can be a businessman, whatever it is. This adherence to legal principles will have a great value in the life of that human being if at the right time these principles are instilled in his mind. So another important aspect is that having awareness to law is actually will enable the or rather easen the access to justice principle also, because justice is a birthright. Though it is mentioned in our constitution, you can't confine it to the four corners of constitution. It is the birthright of any human being to have justice. But of course, justice subject to the legal principles. You can't have an unbridled right of justice. You are entitled to get justice, but just what is justice is decided by legal principles. But then this right is not conferred by constitution. It is actually, it was there even before the advent of the constitution. So access to justice is a very, very important thing for which the CG3 is working, is extremely happy moment to reckon at this stage. Then legal awareness, legal literacy are the mottos, or rather that those are the objects to be achieved by this program. Now with this this few words, I'm not taking much of your time because I'm aware that the speakers have to address you on various subjects, especially Juvenile Justice Act and other law may be appropriate to the age of the school children, and there may be questions, there may be doubts. So I request each participant, each young child participating in this to take this program very seriously, quench your doubts, ask questions, clear your doubts, utilize this platform. This is a very rare occasion for you. And once again, I appreciate the CG3 team headed by Dr. Kailas Natha Pillai and all the members of the team for conducting such a program. Further, the school principal and teachers are also have to be appreciated for organizing such a program for the benefit of their students. With these few words, I take leave of you, and I'll be listening the program for some time. I'll be here as a silent student learning law from you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing those truly inspiring and extremely informative moments of expertise. Now, I humbly invite Advocate Rekha Vasudevan ma'am, practicing advocate in the Honorable High Court of Kerala, for motivating the young minds on the theme Delinquent Juveniles and Laws, Prevention, Violation and Corrections. The stage is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Anandu. I first thank Justice Harisa for giving such beautiful words, delivering such beautiful words. I'll begin from where Hariprasad sir had ended. Law as such, or rather ignorance of law, is not an excuse under the law. You cannot come before the court and say that I was ignorant of the law. That will never be an excuse. So in effect, you are supposed to know every law which is being enacted by our government. That is a difficult task, I do understand, but for which we are here giving you legal awareness class. So as children, right now, what you are supposed to know is the rights and the act which governs you, that is the children as such. And that is what the class today is supposed to be. Delinquent juveniles and law. What is this delinquent juvenile? Who is this juvenile as per law? A juvenile as per the law means a person who has not completed the age of 18 years. This is as per the international law, as well as the UN Convention on the Rights of Children, as well as our Indian law. This is a standard definition given to juvenile or a child under the law throughout the whole world. That is, a child means a person who has not completed the age of 18 years. Now, as you know, children everywhere, be it in India, be it across the country or across the world, they are very vulnerable to abuse and exploitation by those in possession of power and trust. They are very much afraid of people who are, who are in power or trust. And what are these major crimes that have been committed against the children? You can find infanticide, female ferticide, sexual abuse, child labor, and so goes the list. To overcome all these things, the first thing that came up was the United Nations Convention on the Right of Children. That was convened in 1989, where the UN provided that 4 categories of rights to the children. That is right to survival, right to protection, right to development, and also right to participation. Taking note of these things, lots of laws were enacted in our country too. That is not just after the UN Convention, even prior to that, that is under the British rule itself, we had laws which governed the child's right. Like you may say Apprenticeship Act of 1850, Reformatory School Act of 1876 and 1897. Then we had Code of Criminal Procedure of 1861, Indian Penal Code of 1860. So these things were in force even in India, even prior to our independence. Subsequent to our independence, of course, we have our Constitution of India. Then there is a Juvenile Justice Act, which we are dealing today. There are other acts like Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, that is POCSO of 2012, Child Abuse and Prevention Treatment Act of 1974, and so goes the list. We will not go into it because of the passing of time. Here, when we deal with the delinquent juveniles and law, the first thing what we should be known is what are these different types of crimes which involves a juvenile. You can find it nowadays with the access to unlimited access, I would say, to the internet and media. There are cyber crimes which are being reported both by the child as well as against the child. This is high in numbers nowadays, like phishing scams. What is this phishing scams? Phishing scams means you use your parents' mobile often. You may not be having your own mobile. Many may not be so fortunate. You will be using your parents for mobile, and you will be hacking around, or rather you will be just using the internet to download some games, play online games and all those things. And in midst of these things, they may ask you for your personal information, and you give your personal information from your mobile phone. Now the hackers on the other side, they are very easily able to steal the personal data from the device. Now, this device which you are using might be used by your parents, which will be having their bank details, that is the internet banking facility. They may have their what you call the banking apps. Every detail from their Google Pay, like Google Pay and the other online payment systems. The hackers will be able to easily hack those, steal those personal information, personal data from the device. You may not know even that. Then you have internet frauds like the games itself. As I said, the games itself. The games, I can give you an example. 16-year-old boy hanged himself in Ajmer. When the police went into Ajmer is in Rajasthan. When the police inquired about the same, investigated about the same, they came to know that the boy was allegedly had reached the last phase of an online game, that is a Momo challenge game something. And in view of that, predictions in the game, that he committed the suicide. Similarly, we have cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is that what you post in the your WhatsApp, your Facebook post, everything. This comes under the cyberbullying. You may be defaming a person, another person, defaming another person through your post in the WhatsApp or Facebook. The same thing can happen to you also. Some other person may be bullying you in the WhatsApp and Facebook post, which is considered to be a public domain now. Then we have cyber stalking, that is an act of persistent and unwanted contact from someone online. This may be faced by the girls mainly. You may be under persistently and despite you saying no, he may be following you or stalking you online. These are only the cyber crimes that I was doing. Apart from that, we have truancy, that is skipping of the school. That is also a violation of law. Underage drinking or purchase of alcohol, underage smoking or purchase of cigarettes, and so on goes it. Now, juvenile justice in India was for the first time brought in 1986. That is, government thought it best to bring an act which can provide for care, protection, treatment, development, and rehabilitation of the neglected delinquent juveniles. That is, the juveniles who have committed some type of offense. So that was the first step taken by the government of India. But however, that act was not inadequate. I mean, that was not adequate enough to meet the present scenario that was going, or the changes that was going on in the society. So the government later in 2000, in the year 2000, repealed the Act and brought in a new act, that is the Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act of 2000, which again repealed, and a new act was enacted in 2015 under the very same name, Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act of 2015. And that act is the prevailing act which governs us. That is, it still goes on. That act is still a good act. What are the provisions given in this act? This act provides again for the care, protection, treatment, development, and rehabilitation of neglected or delinquent juveniles. There is a uniform legal framework which has been given for juvenile justice throughout the country. That is, all states, all the courts have to follow this legal framework. And it provides for 3 different types of homes for children. That is, juvenile home for reception of neglected juveniles, special home for reception of delinquent juvenile, and observation home for reception of neglected delinquent pending inquiry, and aftercare home. That is, aftercare home is for taking care of juveniles who are being sent to the aftercare homes. It's a separate system. Now, this act also speaks of 2 types of children who can be brought under the Juvenile Justice Act. That is, children who are in conflict with law and children who are in need of care and protection. As I said, till now I have been speaking about the juveniles, that is, who have been violating the law or who have committed some offense. But this act provides for provisions for children in need of care and protection. That is, children who are neglected, orphaned, abused, abandoned, or are victims, are themselves victims of any crime, and who are required to be presented before the Child Welfare Committee. Sometimes they are orphans because of natural calamities. There may be natural calamity in the state, in the area. They may have been separated from their family for some reason or the other. These type of children are called children in need of care and protection. And the present act provides for protection of such children also. That is, when you hear of juvenile home, it is not just for the home for the children who have committed some crime or who have violated the law. I would prefer that way, who have violated the law. But it is a home for the children who are also in need of care and protection, who have been themselves been a victim of crime. So that is what has been taken care of in this act. Now, apart from that, the act also provides for the age determination. As I said earlier, a child has been defined as a person or a human being who is under the age of 18 years. Now, how do you determine this age? That is being determined by the board, that is the Juvenile Justice Board, by on the basis of the conclusive evidence, that is the birth certificate issued by the municipality or panchayat, or the school certificate. These 3 documents, that is the document, birth certificate issued by the municipality or panchayat, or the school certificate, that would decide the age of the child. And now, in case of a child who does not have any of these things, then the child would be presented before the medical board, who would, in terms of their medical terms, would determine the age of the child. So that is to be determined by the Juvenile Justice Board. Further, this act also gives for a different categorization of the offenses committed. That is, heinous, serious, and petty. Heinous means offenses for which the punishment as per the Indian Penal Code or any other law is imprisonment for 7 years or more. And serious offense means offense for which punishment is imprisonment between 3 to 7 years. And petty offenses means for which punishment is imprisonment up to 3 years. Categorization goes like this. There is one more highlight of this act, which in fact is provided under the CRPC, IPC also. No juvenile will be meted with or can be sentenced to death, life imprisonment, or committed to prison. This is a specific provision in the act, which is in fact provided in the Indian Penal Code also, or the CRPC also. That is, CRPC section 27 very categorically says that any person who at the time of appearance before the court is under the age of 16 years is not punishable with death or imprisonment. So the very same thing has been reiterated in this act. Now, I would also like to point out some cases which were in the headlines, which involved the juvenile delinquents. One among them is the Nirbhaya gang rape case. You all might have read on the newspapers, medias at that time, that how it shook the whole country. But ultimately, at the time of trial, when the news came out that one of the accused being a delinquent, that is a person below the age of 18 years, was given the benefit of this act, and he was tried separately, and a sentence was declared for him separately. No death sentence was given to him. So this has aroused a great discontent across the country, because though he is a child below, though he is a person below the age of 18 years, the act committed by him was not something very trivial. I mean, was not something that could be just neglected. It was a serious offense committed by him. So taking note of that instance, the government then amended this act, and a special provision was provided that juveniles of 16 years or above are permitted to be tried as adults for heinous acts which are punishable with imprisonment of 7 years and above, like rape and murder. Again, you can be, in these cases, the juveniles can be tried in the normal court, not by the Juvenile Justice Board, but in the normal court. But then I have my doubts whether they can be imparted with the punishment of death, because that part of the law has not been amended yet. Again, I would just point out some cases involving the juvenile delinquents. Minor in Thane, this was in somewhere in 2019, a minor in Thane, Maharashtra state, killed his elder brother for scolding him over playing PUBG game, and the brother was stabbed repeatedly with scissors. Again, then there is a murder of TikTok celebrity Mohit Moore in New Delhi. That was during the pandemic situation, 2020. He was a gym trainer with a follower of 5 lakhs in the TikTok thing. And he was shot with 7 bullets with 3 assailants. Now, by one of these 3 assailants happened to be a 15-year-old boy. So he is now under custody, and the trial is yet to start. Teen kills his twin brother in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, over the heated argument of over rupees 40. And he beats his brother to death with a hammer, and that too the next day of a dispute, not on the fur of the moment, but he does this on the next day of the dispute. Yet another case was reported in New Delhi, where an 8-year-old boy killed a toddler for revenge in New Delhi. Reason was that few days ago, the older sister of the toddler had hurt his younger brother. So these instances gives us, these instances in fact makes us say, are our children aware of the law? Are they being properly guided? Why do these instances happen when we have so many laws which says that which provides for punishment for violation of these types of laws? This happens only because of your unawareness about the law, for which I would suggest that every law which, now everything that you do is governed by law. You want to walk on a road, that is governed by one law. If you want to cross the road, there is law for that. If you want to drive a vehicle, there is law for that. Everything is governed by law. And if there is any violation of this law, you will be punished. And as I said in my beginning, ignorance of law is never treated as an excuse, and you will not be just left out because you were ignorant of the law. No, that is not an excuse, and you will be punished for that. So I would request everyone here to at least read what the law is. You may not be able to understand it in simple reading. Of course, I do agree to that. but at least basic awareness of the law is a must, which I would request the students to please do go ahead with it. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for your motivating words on the theme. Now, I would like to call upon Advocate Mahesh Menon, sir, Advocate in the Honorable High Court of Kerala and member CG3 for the interactive session with students, teachers, and parents gathered here. Sir, please.
Thank you. In fact, it was a very wonderful session by Rekha ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And now the floor is in fact open for you, dear students. All are welcome. You may please put forth your questions, and to the best of our knowledge, we can answer it either through chat box or you can directly.
Children can introduce themselves and then ask questions or make observations, comments. It is your session. It is your program. Don't feel shy or reserved.
Is there no one who is interested in law in the school?
If students don't ask questions, we will ask you questions.
That will be a wonderful option. Friends, make use of this opportunity.
See, until and unless you start questioning, every day will be like this for you. You won't proceed ahead in your life.
It will only be asking the first question. Once the first question comes, then questions will So they are thinking who will ask the first question. I think Shirley Paul ma'am can direct them, advise them.
Ma'am, I think you're muted. Your mic is muted.
I already informed the children it is their turn. They can ask anything what they want to know about it. Dear children, you can ask.
Mahesh, I think it will be better if you ask something. Maybe that would motivate them to.
In fact, Alina. Ma'am, in fact, in that case, let me ask you a doubt, my personal doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am.
You don't put me in trouble. Okay, tell me.
Ma'am, I'm asking about, ma'am, the age. Immediately after, it is already very much discussed by various Supreme Courts, as well as the age of 18 years, whether
Yes.
immediately before a crime committed, whether he will become, he will be granted the effect of juvenile, that part immediately before
No,
17,
see,
17 or.
Exactly. That is what has been taken care on the new amendment. Because in that Nirbhaya case, what happened was that the boy was at the verge of 18 years at the time the trial began. If I'm not wrong. So
Yes, yes.
the issue arose whether he should be tried as a juvenile or as an adult trial. So there the issue, because at the time of committing the offense, he was only a juvenile. That was what was considered by the court there. But now, after 16 years or above, who are permitted, the juveniles of 16 years and above are permitted to be tried as adults, like in the normal court. They will not face the Juvenile Justice Act anymore.
Ma'am, in fact, it is a subsequent question, ma'am. In fact, still there comes the question of there should be a intelligence of each and every person, each and every student will differ. In fact,
Yes.
that
Yes.
point should be, in fact, proper mark should be there, right?
That is already taken care of in IPC section 83, but that is only up to 12 years that you have that benefit. Section 83 in IPC very specifically says that where the accused is between 7 to 12 years of age, the capacity to commit an offense only arises when the child has attained sufficient maturity of understanding to judge the nature and consequence of his conduct. I think after 12 years also, if the court finds that the child is able to understand what he has done, the maturity is, he has attained the maturity, then he will have to face the consequences.
I think there is a participant called Tina Saji. Madam Shirley Paul. Tina Saji is in which
standard? 10th grade. 10th grade. 10th grade. She's studying 10th grade. Okay, you can ask her. Nice girl. She will ask.
Tina, do you hear me, Tina?
Yes.
Tina, which is the most important law in our country? You know, can you name?
No idea.
Have you heard of Constitution of India?
Yes.
So, Constitution, you know which other laws? Suppose you see your friend is beaten by somebody. As a responsible friend, what will you do?
I will try to make him understand it. It's a crime which he is making, which he is doing.
Yes, very good.
And I am trying to correct him.
Very good. And
what I can do.
Suppose you are going near the police station, you will be walking along the police station line. Will you be able to tell the police that such a thing has happened?
Yes, I should inform.
Oh, very good. That is the beginning of your responsibility, your duty. See, there is no age bar for going to police station and informing an offense, crime. So that is the best answer you have given, Tina. Very good. Pranav is in which standard?
Sir, I think we have a question in our chat box.
Okay, please.
For self-protection, if one person kills anyone to save herself, what will be the outcome of that act? Private defense, my lady, I do not know your name, Devi Priya. Okay, Devi Priya.
You respond to that.
Yes, Devi Priya, you will be entitled for the protection of law if something has been done in protecting yourself or any other person who is in danger. So something done to protect oneself or the other is protected by the law, and if you are able to prove that in the trial, then you will be you will be acquitted with no punishment.
Very good. Who will be asking the next question? Pranav KR. Pranav is in which standard, Pranav?
Yes, sir.
Pranav is in which standard? Which you are studying? Eighth standard.
Yes.
Can you hear me, Pranav?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If somebody speaks bad of your school, what will you do? Being a responsible student of the school.
I will tell them that it's not correct, and I will tell that.
What about reporting? What about reporting to the principal?
If a student of our school is telling like that, I will report the principal there.
Okay, very good to know. So we'll be
Pranav, one more thing, Pranav, even if it is by someone else outside, you are supposed to report it to your principal, because it is the reputation of your school which is being put on stake.
Okay, ma'am.
So who will be asking question, or who will be my target, next target? Tisha is in which standard?
Yes, sir.
Tisha is studying in which standard?
8th standard.
8th standard. Tisha, which is the law you know? Can you name a law in our country?
I don't know correctly.
No, you don't know any law in our country. I had mentioned on earlier. Have you heard of the Constitution of India?
Yes.
Okay. Then you can ask questions. You can clear.
Is there no one who is interested
sir.
in coming into the legal
Yes,
profession?
Joy,
So
yes.
can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir, you
yes,
can.
yes.
Okay, my name is Johan J. Manali and I'm from 10th grade, 10th B.
Very good, very good. Start.
So I have a small doubt. See, the central government can amend the constitution, right?
Yes.
But how far can they amend? They can't make irrational decisions, right? So how far can they amend? Is there a limit for that?
They have to place that amendment before the parliament, that is both houses of parliament, Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha. They have to get the assent from the parliament, only then can the amendment be made. And once the amendment is made, if general public finds that it is irrational or illogical, illegal, then the general public is entitled to approach the court, High Court or Supreme Court, seeking to set aside the said amendment. You have a right for that.
You asked a very pertinent question. What is the limit? Is there any limit for amendment? Is it not so?
Yeah, I meant that actually.
There is a limit because Supreme Court has said that there is a limit. There is a Lakshman Rekha. There is a limit because Supreme Court said that you cannot amend the constitution affecting the basic structure of the constitution. Basic structure of the constitution. Can you recollect which is the most important amendment to the constitution so far? Most important, most useful, most important.
I think it's the amendment. Yeah, I think it's the amendment when we changed secular, sovereign. We added those 3 words. I think it's that.
No, it is no. All it affects an amendment. There is an amendment which affects all people, entire people of the nation. I don't think that immediately you will be able to say that. See, there is an amendment called the 73rd Amendment of the Constitution. 73rd and 74th Amendment made Panchayat Raj a part of the Constitution. By Panchayat Raj, every citizen of the country, every voter of the country is empowered. Women are empowered. Rural areas are empowered. There is no other amendment as comprehensive as Panchayat Raj Amendment, Amendment 72. See, 73. in our 73 and 74.
Yes.
And in our nation now, every panchayat, 50% of the members are women. You see, what was the position of women? Now that is empowerment of women. And panchayat has become part of the governance of this country. Entire 137 crore of Indians are affected by this amendment. But what you said is correct. Amendment relating to secularism, all those things, socialism and all. These are very good words to speak. But they are realized through amendments like 73rd and 74th Amendment. I hope it is a good question raised by you. I hope you have a little satisfied with the response given by Advocate Rekha Vasudevan and myself. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I have one more question.
Yes.
And that is that if a common man in our nation spot any corruption in any part of the government or any part in the in executory or judiciary, anywhere, if any part, if a common man spots corruption, how can we move against it? How can we fight against it? If it's a common man, he won't have any support or parties or anyone to support. So if we see anybody, I think it's seen in that movie One, Mammootty's One. So in that movie, it's there. It's a right to recall. It's like that, right to recall. If anybody, any part of our government is corrupt, the common man can put forward a vote and they can fight against. I'm not saying, I don't know it's practical, but is there any law we can, anywhere in the law, we can fight against those people, a common man?
You have two laws relating to that. One is Prevention of Corruption Act, and the second one is Whistleblowers Act. Now, the first one gives what is corruption, how it can be curbed, how can it be tried. Under that act, you can approach the vigilance department. If it is the state government employee, you can approach the state vigilance, or if it is the central government, you can approach the central vigilance department. Many times you might have seen in the newspapers about the use of the what is called the powder to curb the bribe. They use that naphthalene, if I'm not wrong, the word naphthalene powder to overcome them, means to get the accused. So you can approach the vigilance department with your complaint, and they would definitely help you out with this. Now, Whistleblowers Act come into force, where any person can make a complaint against this corruption, and he will be protected. He will not be prosecuted for making such complaints in future. So that is what the Whistleblowers Act gives them. That is giving a protection to the person who comes as a complainant. You definitely have police. You can complain to the police also against the corruption, but more effective is the vigilance department, who has the authority to proceed in such matters.
I think Advocate Mahesh Menon also can respond to that question if he thinks so. Because that was a very comprehensive question asked by.
In fact, I am continuing. I'm keeping my opinion with into Rekha ma'am's opinion itself.
And there is one more suggestion. I will add one more word to what brilliant answer given by Rekha, supported by Mahesh. See, you asked a question with an emphasis on common man. Common man. If a common man, what can a common man do it? See, you can. How can a common man approach the court? You know the history of functioning of Supreme Court. You take now there is no postcard. There was a question of the system of postcard, writing letters on postcard. You know, have you seen a postcard? It was 5 paise or 10 paise, 20 paise. See, now there is no postcard, but you take an inland, or you do, if you get the WhatsApp number, you can send this complaint to the Chief Justice of India. And the Chief Justice of India sees that there is substance in your complaint. The Chief Justice will suo moto mean on its own, without a complainant, can register a case, a public interest case. So many cases are registered, even on the basis of, you can report it to the media. From media, the court can take cognizance of it. So common men must be alert, like you, who have now so alert that you have asked pertinent questions. And you should tell your friends in the school also to be alert and respond to problems, questions. So that is why there is no situation without a remedy, provided that you are alert and you are sensitive to the issue. That is it.
Just to add on what Pilla sir said, Joy, one more thing. Now, many times we face that the common man, when they approach the police authorities or the vigilance authorities, they do not find a response to their complaint. So next question arises, in such cases, what can be done? In such cases, you can approach the magistrate court with a private complaint by yourself. That saying that you had approached the authorities, but nothing is being done by the authorities in your complaint. The magistrate himself can take cognizance of the offense and can direct the police to further investigate into the matter.
Okay. I think now there will be several students wishing to ask questions. And I hope that Gautam is one among them. Gautam, you are in which standard?
8th grade.
8th standard.
Yes, 8B.
8B. Very good. Gautam, what is your impression about today's program? Tell us.
I'm happy and I'm lucky to have this meeting and to know about the laws and about everything being said.
So you think that it has it has benefited you?
Yes, for sure. I have been it has benefited me.
Suppose you get an opportunity to learn law, will you take law as a subject in your higher studies?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I would.
Very good. Then do you have any question to ask?
No, I don't have. I don't.
No. Okay. Thank you. Then who will be asking questions? We have 10 more minutes for interaction. Anna is in which standard?
I'm in 11th, sir.
11th. Oh, you are on the threshold of higher studies. Anna, what is your impression about obeying law?
It must be obeyed.
You prefer more duties or more rights?
Both.
Both your rights. You have can you ask a question on the basis of that? Or on any other aspects regarding law? You were listening to the discussion here, eh? Okay.
Yes, sir.
The question is there within you. Only thing is that you have to express it. That's all.
What for if you are filing a complaint and we filed a complaint against someone, will there be any future crisis for with that complaint for us?
Okay.
It is not.
Okay. This is the best question. One of the best questions. If you file a complaint against somebody, will there be any problem for us? That is a question. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In future. Rekha, advocate.
That is what I said earlier. Whistleblowers Act. You will not be prosecuted against, you will not face any act for having post the complaint against some person. You will not be prosecuted for that. You did it in your good faith. So you will not be prosecuted for that. You will not face any problem for that.
Okay.
So there's some questions in the chat box.
Okay, please. You can.
Johnny, if I'm not wrong, there has been a lot of fuss recently around the Aryan Khan drug case. My question is that how will a drug addict or consumer be treated in front of law? Should or would he be treated as a criminal or as a patient? He will definitely be treated as an accused, because as per the NDPS Act, even consuming drugs is considered to be illegal. So he will have to face the law.
So Arya Khan's case is an indicator. Your position is no bar for the law to reach you.
Yes.
There is a saying that be thou ever high, the law is above you. Because the student who asked this question, as well as for the knowledge of others, law is the king of kings. Law is supreme. So whether it is prime minister, whether it is president, whether it is a common man, whether it is Arya Khan or any other person in the society, law treats all of them equally.
Now the fuss is created by the media and not by the law.
Yes, exactly.
There's another message. Ma'am, if a girl of age below 15 is being raped and there is no evidence to prove that a person is culprit, even if the girl recognizes the person, will the person be punished? That is something. What do you think, sir?
Question was not audible to me.
So, if a girl of age below 15 is being raped and there is no evidence to prove that a person is culprit, even if the girl recognizes the person, will the person be punished? I think POCSO Act will come into play. If the court finds the evidences to be.
I think there the burden of proof is also on the accused to some extent. See, there is a saying that an accused is presumed to be innocent until guilt is proved. But in such cases, in cases referred to here, the burden of proof is on the accused also. And another thing we can say, there is no evidence. How can you say that there is no evidence after alleging that there is rape? After alleging rape, if there is medical evidence, that is sufficient. Because you cannot wash away medical evidence in the case of rape. And the law in our country is that merely on the basis of the complaint or evidence of the prosecutrix or the girl who is subjected to rape, the person can be punished. It is a very serious offense in the society, like dowry, rape, victimization or harassment and victimization of children, especially girl children. And it is for sensitizing these issues that we are conducting this program like LAM. You look into yourselves, each one of you, you will find injustice done to so many people around you. Even in your houses, you may see injustice done. Even in your society, even among your friends. But you have to be very cautious. You have to, the injustice cannot be fought with another injustice. Crime cannot be fought with another crime. So you have to be approach the law for that. The question is very pertinent, very relevant. So nobody asked question initially, but now we have got some 4 or 5 very important questions showing the standard of the school, the way in which students are thinking, the high standard developed among the students of the school. You can ask one more question because we have.
There's one more question in the chat box, sir.
Please.
Aaron Jason. Okay. Respected ma'am, I have a small doubt. Suppose a criminal gets justice by taking advantage of the loopholes in the law. But as a member protecting the law, how would you react to it?
Fantastic question.
They are helpless.
Fantastic.
They are helpless.
Fantastic
Because,
question.
Aaron, I would suggest you to see a movie, Section 376, which is a Hindi movie, where the theme has very perfectly pointed out what is the difference between justice and law. Okay, now every time, now even if he's an accused, he's also a citizen of India who is entitled to get equal treatment. So if he is getting advantage or he's able to prove his not guilty, then he will definitely walk out. We are helpless in that matter.
And Aaron, you have used the correct word. Aaron, can you hear me, my words?
Yes, sir.
You have used the correct word, loopholes. Who creates the loopholes in a case? Shall I tell you a small story, 1 minute story?
Yes, sir.
There was a dog bite case. And it was informed to the police station. A police constable came to the scene where a child was bitten by a dog, grown up by somebody, some gentleman in the vicinity, and he examined everything. And the dog bite, he examined the child, the wound, the dog, the owner of the dog. So it was so bleeding, it was so intense, and the police constable understood that it was a genuine dog bite case. And finally, the owner of the dog met the police constable in such a way that the police constable wrote the last sentence. In the Mahasar, he wrote that it is a very harsh dog bite and all. But the last sentence was that on close scrutiny, I could not see any teeth in the mouth of the dog. So, and he ended the Mahasar. See the loophole. It is a dog bite case where it is bleeding. And finally, the police, while writing the Mahasar, found that there was no teeth in the mouth of the dog. So this is how loopholes develop. Those who are to protect law, they create loopholes. What you said is 100% correct. It is through loopholes only that people escape the wrath of law. Thank you very much for asking such a fantastic question, Mr.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Join for law. Society will be definitely be benefited by your sense of justice.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
There are two more questions, sir.
See, the number of questions increasing.
Okay, there's another third question now popped in.
Okay, you respond.
Whether do you think that there are loopholes in law that has been exploited by the eminent defense lawyer, which can be problem for common man against going cases on rich and eminent people? I think that is for you, sir.
Who has asked the question, Rega?
Chris. There is one Chris.
Chris was my target. I wanted to ask Chris one. Then attention was turned. Chris, you asked very. This is the brilliance of the lawyers. See, cases are won or lost to a great extent by the sensitivity and the importance of lawyers. There again, I will tell you an incident like the earlier one. There is a saying in Kerala that if you have Mallur Govindapilla and 1,000 rupees, you can kill anybody in Kerala. This was the saying. If you have Mallur, see, Mallur Govindapilla was an eminent criminal lawyer. He was the principal of Government Law College Trivandrum also. Mallur Govindapilla was a legendary lawyer in Kerala. He was by means of his intelligence, sensitivity, and he used to get acquittal to so many of convicts, so many of the accused. And in one case, there he was showing a material object which was a rifle, which was a gun, and he had kept a big bullet with him, which will not fit in that gun. And during the argument, he showed the judge, he had shot with this gun, yes, and the bullet is here. In the meantime, he had taken the real bullet and swallowed it, putting it in his, because he is showing very dramatic scenes in the court. And he had given to the judge the bullet which he had kept with him. And that bullet was not fitting to the gun. So basic premise of the case is lost because of the lawyer only. The lawyers are the ingenuity of lawyers to a great extent. You have heard of Palkiwala. He was interpreting the constitution and telling us what are our rights. So, Chris, are you satisfied? If you are not satisfied, I will say one more thing. In Shakespeare's Henry VI, there is a character who says, "Let us kill all lawyers. Let us kill all lawyers." Then that is not against the lawyers, because the situation under which it is said that the villain of the play, Shakespeare's play, plans an attack against the king. Then one of his friends says that in that case, let us kill all lawyers, because if a single lawyer is alive, we will be caught and punished. That is the importance of lawyer. And the last thing I will tell you, Chris, in the Constitution of India, no other profession is mentioned other than law. Only law is profession. No doctor, no engineer, no chartered accountant, no IT professional, nothing. by name. Only lawyer is mentioned. So this is the importance of lawyer in a rule of law. Chris, I hope you are enlightened.
Yes.
Which is the next question, Rega?
Ma'am, if the person repeats the crime more than 4 times, will the punishment increase? This is by Elizabeth Mary Babu. If one does the crime and there are no evidence except the victim, will that person be arrested or given punishment? That's another question by the very same person. Repeated offense by the same person is always one of the factors which will be taken into consideration by the court at the time of final verdict. Of course, if he's a repeated offender, like in the case of rape, then we have a specific provision itself. If he's a repeated offender of rape, then the court can award him death penalty on that score. So we have provisions for that, and that is one of the guiding principle at the time of the finalization of the trial, which will be guided, will be taken into consideration by the judge. And the next question is, if one does the crime and there are no evidences except the victim, will that person be arrested or given punishment? Of course, if the victim is able to prove that what has happened to her or him, then definitely that will be given a consideration.
Elizabeth, I will also add one word to what Advocate Rega has said. There is a saying in law that every contract leaves a trace. Every contract leaves a trace. You say without evidence something happened. There will be something if you look into it, look through it. That is the position. And repeated offenders, not only in criminal cases, but in traffic offenses also, you know. If you are committing the mistake wrong for the second, third, fourth times, then the punishment or penalty will increase. That is there, Elizabeth. I hope you are satisfied, Elizabeth.
Yes, sir.
Which is the next question, Advocate Rega? Mahesh, is there any question in the chat box now?
As of now, I don't have any.
So, if there are more questions, you can ask now. Now the question answer session is about to conclude. You can send your suggestions, observations, questions, doubts through your school, through your mom, teachers to CG3. See, our organization is not leaving you here with this lamp. Hereafter, it is our school also. If you have any problem in your life, in your student life, in your career, you can approach us, not directly, but through your school, through your teachers. Definitely, we will be there, even to give you guidance to as to what to do. It is a relationship, it is connectivity we are establishing today. Now, I hope that we have come to the last session. I hope that there are no more questions. And Anandu can proceed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Before moving on to the vote of thanks, let's see a short video with a message on dowry by Ms. Haira, LLM student, National University of Advanced Legal Studies, Kochi.
Technical team, please.
Hello, dear children and esteemed participants. Before we say goodbye, take a message from CG3. We all know that Kerala is highly literate and we are also proud of that. But our social peace is in deep waters. Maladies rule the roost. Dowry, drugs and drinks damage societal conscience. Among all of these, dowry causes acute agony. It is a disease infecting the community strength and deteriorates the society from the root itself. Violence, harassment, female feticide, female infanticide, dowry deaths, and the list goes on. Human rights are at grave casualty. Children, be aware of the devil dowry. You are strong and also young. Only you can think and fight this devil. So fight this devil with your mind and your body. You are strong enough and you're educated. So you are gifted with the best brains, and use your brains wisely to eradicate this most heinous crime, dowry. It is your obligation to the nation as well as to society. It is your fundamental duty. So what is dowry? Dowry, a traditional evil. It is the consideration to the matrimonial bargain. That is, the bride side has to satisfy the groom side through cash and other things. Dowry can be any property, valuable security such as cash, ornaments, vehicle that is given or agreed to be given along with the bride to her nuptial house. It is a gratification to the groom, as good as bribe. More often, demands for dowry lingers on. It spoils the domestic peace, causes domestic violence, and aggravates to outstretch heinous crimes of harassment, hurt, suicide, and even murder, that is the loathsome and blood-chilling. We have many anti-dowry laws such as the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, and under this particular act, to give or to take or demand dowry, and even abetting to give, take or to demand dowry, and even advertisement to offer dowry is also punishable. So apart from this, we have the Indian Penal Code, in which under section 304B, the dowry death, the crime of dowry death has been penalized. Also by 498A, cruelty to married women by her in-laws or her husband in demand for dowry and such other things are also punishable. The causes of dowry are many things. Gender inequality, greed, and the failure of education and tardy implementation of anti-dowry laws. Children, you have to get motivated yourselves to have a good career so as to live with good income and also with dignity and self-respect. Boys and girls have equal obligation. They are like the two sides of the same coin. Girls are entitled to have equal opportunity, equal consideration, and equal quality of education as that of boys. So, go ahead with your studies and plan for your future. Parents have to educate the children equally. There should not be any sorts of discrimination and any types of sexual distinction between girls and boys. They should create a level playing ground for both girls and boys to provide equal opportunity for education and every other sorts of education, and all opportunity should be given equally to both boys as well as girls. So girls, you should say no to greedy grooms, and you have to solve your problems courageously and be bold to face issues. Children have to get assurance from the parents that they will not negotiate for dowry. Our boys should have confidence and a sense of dignity that you shall also take the pledge that you will not take dowry. We are aware of many issues that recently shook our conscience related to dowry deaths. There is a real and substantial threat to the social fabric. In Kerala, dowry-related cases are innumerable. There is a spate of late. The incidents that are brought to the public glare are nerve-shattering. The devil dowry has eaten into the vital of the God's own country. Heard and discussed cases are mind-boggling, and thus the unheard and undiscussed may be even more shattering and mind-boggling also. So, we shall fight this evil, dowry, and eradicate it from the lock, stock, and barrel. Children, you begin the campaign from your school itself with the guidance of your teachers and the moral support of your teachers. And from right now onwards, take the pledge that you will not take or give dowry. So, hoping that you will pledge yourselves that you will not be trapped in the shackles of dowry, I'm thanking you for listening to me patiently. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, technical team. Now, I invite Advocate Asha Joseph Ma'am, member CG3 and team leader of this session, to deliver the vote of thanks and to share her experience on choosing legal profession. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Anandu. Very good evening to one and all. Before we move on to vote of thanks, I would like to share one anecdote from my own professional experience. It happened when I finished my LLB course in 1991 at Kerala Law Academy Law College, Trivandrum. When the final result came, I was declared failed in part 2 of the exam. In the previous years, I had cleared all exams in first attempt itself. So the result of the final year shocked me. Hence, I filed application for revaluation of my answer papers. However, the result of the revaluation was getting delayed and the date of enrollment of advocates was fast approaching. All my friends were ready to enroll, so I was advised to approach the Honorable High Court of Kerala by filing a writ petition under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. The Honorable High Court granted me relief and I could enroll along with my friends. This was a turning point in my life. The lawyer who helped me to get a favorable order was Dr. K.P. Kailasnath Pillai, who is the mentor of CG3 and also the chairman of today's LAMP session. Later, I had a good fortune to work with Sir in the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So, dear children, everyone has turning point in life. Every lawyer also would have turning point in life. My first experience with the profession was inspiring. I hope that the inspiration which I felt reflect in your imagination also. Now, with the permission of all, I shall discharge the duty assigned to me, that is to propose vote of thanks to all assembled here. On this occasion, with a lot of gratitude and respect, I thank Honorable Mr. Justice A. Hariprasad for delivering the keynote address and who enlightened us with valuable insight. I take this opportunity to thank Father Jose Kidangan, Principal, and Mrs. Shirley Paul, Coordinator, Lord's Academy, who warmly welcomed and supported us to organize this 4th LAMP session of CG3. I express our sincere thanks to Advocate Rekha Vasudevan for her very informative and motivating speech. I also thank our mentor, Dr. K.P. Kailasnath Pillai, who chaired this function and for his opening words. Appreciating Ms. Jismaria Jimmy for her mesmerizing prayer song. I extend vote of thanks to her. I also thank Advocate Mahesh Menon, who led the interactive section, and also I thank Team CG3 for the support. Last but not least, the most important section among the audience are dear students who attended this LAMP session with great interest. I also thank parents and teachers and all others present here. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for the vote of thanks. Now, I invite our mentor, Dr. K.P. Kailasnath Pillai sir, to give the closing remarks for this event.
Thank you, Anandu. I hope it was a very enlightening session for the students of Lord's Academy. See the name of your school, Lord's Academy. The God Almighty has been benevolent enough to give you knowledge and use that knowledge for the wellness of the society and let it be the wealth of the society, your knowledge. So we are from today onwards moving together in your march, in your pilgrimage, in your expedition, in your exploration, in your innovation. CG3 is with you, just like your teachers are with you, your school is with you. I wish all best of best in their lives to this school. I wish more prominence and opportunity to teach more children in the years to come. I wish all that is best to the teachers who have been demonstrated their sense of determination and discipline and devotion to the cause. So with these words, once again, remembering the solidarity expressed by the CG3 team in moving ahead with this, and the two youngsters, Mr. Anandu and Advocate Alexander, who organized this moderation and comparing. With these closing words, I wish best of best to all of you. Thank you. Jai Hind. Namaste.